I'll come back. 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 I'll come back.
Oh,
Is someone pressing the button?
yeah, we have the Amazon ad right now.
Oh, right. Okay.
We just need to throw the announcement out there. It's fine. I believe in you.
Can always impress yourself if you try less.
That's a great fucking quote, and I'm gonna steal that.
Do I get any royalties from that? What's the pay for this thing?
Fucking nothing.
Oh, that's more than I usually get.
We could pay you
well.
an exposure.
The only
Yeah,
convention I went to was BronyCon, and that's fucking ripping the ground.
Yeah,
It's
we went to the
true.
last one too. It was good. Yeah.
Or any of the other cons we're going to this year.
Jesus. Busy here. Holy shit.
I think we're live.
We are live. We're just bullshitting.
I'm hearing you.
It's the best way to start it out.
You should mute the cast window.
Oh, I like it. It's confusing.
Why do you like it if it's confusing?
He's out of control. He can't be stopped.
Well, people will probably trickle in slowly but surely. I was trying to give a minute for people to kind of trickle on in. Oh, we didn't do it. We didn't do our blogs. That's fine, I guess.
Are we getting that trickle?
No. Why don't everyone quickly make a blog post saying that we're doing the cast? Here's the link. And I can cut this beginning part off.
Sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends.
I wouldn't want to like what's the word?
If you go in right now with the code Barcast, you get a free champion and free emeralds. I don't know what the in-game currency is.
And the emeralds you get are sponsored by Skillshare.
Wow.
Oh boy.
Okay, I made a blog. Hopefully that brings in a few more people. I'll do our countdown.
I did
5,
it.
4, 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to the Barcast, where the bar gets lower every single week. Your bartenders for this evening will be Alex _.
Good afternoon. I hope you're doing well in 2020 and vote.
Enigmatic Otaku.
Oh shit.
Mouse.
Flamin' Warfer. Milk.
Fucking gnome, I swear to God.
Fucking Milk.
Said the thing and pushed the button.
Fucking Milk. And my name's Flutter Priest. This week we have a very special guest.
Geist.
Holy shit! I'm actually awful. But we have a very special guest. You may have seen them trolling around on Film Fiction. We know them as the 24th Pegasus. You may know them as the recent release of The Lies We Tell Ourselves, which, of course, hit the feature box. The lovely 24th Pegasus.
Hey everybody, how's it going? My name's Critical. I'm here to go play the Barcast with a bunch of assholes. No, but seriously, thanks for having me on, everybody. And did you actually? So you read that thing I wrote, I guess, then or something, since you're opening up with that story.
Oh, well, we try to celebrate whatever our guest has written recently.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, like this is about you. We're here to promote you.
Oh, it's about time.
And of course, your entire Discord server.
Exactly. Yeah, I've got a fucking Discord server thing on my page. Go to it if you're cool or not. I don't discriminate.
Well, we will. And for those who are tuning in for the very first time, welcome. Why are you here? Just joking. We are a community podcast show where you ask for the guests. We politely ask them on, and we ask them guests for 2 hours and make them miserable. For those who've never seen some of our episodes, you can check out on past ones like Bill Newton, the voice of Brightmac, and Dusty Cat, and Milk, out on Google Play Music, iTunes, and anywhere you digest your normal podcast materials.
Alexa, play Barcast.
It's true. I hope your Alexa device is playing Barcast now, and that's awkward.
It's gonna play the
Alexa,
Blackcast.
And then you'll be like, well, that was shit. Alexa, play Despacito.
We have a whole bunch of questions live out in FanFiction right now, but of course we're streaming on Twitch. So the disgusting enigmatic otaku will be fielding those questions. Enigma, what are questions we don't ask our guests?
We will not ask real names. We will not ask incriminating stuff. No real names, no politics, no religion.
Holy shit, you did a good job, Enigma.
Oh, we did it.
Very succinct and straightforward. I applaud you.
So enough. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying whatever's on the top of my head. I don't know what's going on.
Learning, like Pavlov's dogs.
Subscribe to Enigma's Patreon. There you go. Now then, without further ado, let's jump into actual interview questions because we have our guest here. But if you ever hear any of us say the word fuck, go ahead and have a nice healthy
Fuck.
Fuck. Have a drink at home. Please be responsible with drinking. We don't want to send someone to the hospital.
Drink yourself into illness.
You know
drink
who you
yourself
are out
into
there.
death.
Don't
I
be
did
like
that
us.
last night. I'm gonna do it again tonight too.
24th Pegasus. Who are you and what have you done for the fandom?
I am a guy who writes things that some people apparently have heard of, things here and there, and that's about it. I've been writing stuff since, I guess it was 2012 when I joined or something like that. So it's, in any case, it's been too long since I started doing this shit, and I'm stuck in here, and I can't get out. Please send help.
Why don't you?
Are we the same person?
Probably. You
why
never
don't-
know.
Why don't you name some of the stuff that people have heard of?
Well, I guess it was, this would have been 2 years ago at this point. I think probably a whole bunch of people saw was I wrote a daily fic called Surviving Sand Island that was going on as daily fics do every day, but that was in the feature box constantly, so I feel like most people probably would have seen that out of everything I've written somewhat recently.
Never heard of it.
I wrote, well, that's unfortunate, but now you have, though.
No, I'm
so
joking. I
there you
actually
go.
have.
But other than that, some of my early stuff I used to write a bunch of like historical stories about like pre-founding Equestria with Commander Hurricane and all that. That's how I kind of started out. And I've also written a little story called Numbers, which is for some reason extremely popular, and I've seen a lot of people read that and comment about it. Which is also doubly amazing because I stole the concept, or at least the way that the numbers in that story went from a fucking Nickelback music video that I randomly remembered one time, like a couple of years ago, that I'd seen in middle school, I guess. And I'm like, fuck it, that'll make a good story. So I did.
Are you telling me that you couldn't make it as a wise man, and you couldn't cut it as a poor man stealing? And this is how we remind you what the fucking numbers mean.
Exactly. You'll never figure them out. Ooh.
Next question. How did you get into MLP, my friend?
That was back in high school. I guess it was also 2012. Everything happened very quickly. But I think I'd seen some pony stuff like on the TF2 server because everybody sprays degenerate shit all across those maps when they're playing. And there was some pony art that I saw there. I'm like, oh, that's a kind of neat art style. And then I went and looked a little bit further into it. Didn't think too much of it until I guess maybe a week or two later. My younger brother's like, hey, I've heard this thing is actually really good, this pony thing. You want to watch it? I'm like, I have nothing better to do. So we watched it, and then we binged pretty much all of season 1 and season 2 because I was out at the time, and that's how we got in. And unfortunately, I didn't manage to get back out. He's already back out. I'm just the pretty much the lone person in my friend group from high school that's still stuck in here.
Yeah, and you have 1,000 followers, so people look up to you and how degenerate you are. So congratulations.
I
It
know,
sounds
it's
like-
beautiful.
He's a real idiot.
Yeah, it sounds like your brother is the lucky one there.
He is. Well, actually, he has severe scoliosis, so I'm very happy that I got out of there, or that I don't have to deal with that.
Wait,
He decided to.
scoliosis?
Yeah, he pretty much at the same time he got out of ponies, he got really into weightlifting and going to the gym, so he just filled that empty space with being a meathead, and so now he's out in California doing weed and shit like that, fucking lifting, being overall stupid, but you know, he's my brother, so I love him anyways.
Wait, does weed help you gain muscle?
Yes.
No, but he went to California, and that you know, there's weed there.
Why not?
Yes, yes, Alex.
Why
Alex,
am I
you
not a weightlifter then?
Alex, you gotta inject a weed.
Yeah,
Gotta
one
inject-
one whole weed every day, very good for the biceps apparently.
Injecting the marijuanas.
Yeah.
All right, number 3 then. Since you weren't able to get out, what do you consider your favorite part of the fandom? The online community, fanfics, cons, music, art. What keeps you here?
Well, that'd definitely be the people I met from writing and everything. When we play, I still play games with them all the time. They become some of my best friends. So I guess friendship really is magic or some shit like that.
Fuck.
But yeah, there's it's mostly the people I met when I was, you know, really writing a lot more than I am now because I had way more free time back then than I do now. But yeah, I've become good friends with a whole bunch of people, and they're still stuck in here with me. So you know,
Oh, well,
all is
cool.
well.
What are some of your writer friends from? I'm assuming they're on FemFic. Like,
Yeah.
is there anyone you have to give a shout out to?
So the first person I really met and talked with is a guy named Loyal Liar. He hasn't at least published anything on FemFiction in a little while, but he does write a whole lot. The problem is he keeps going back and writing the same thing like 6 times over because he keeps changing it, and we're trying to help him get it out. But you know, he's definitely one of my biggest friends. Then Rurik, he went and wrote a story called Fire and Rain that I'm sure many people remember from the earlier days of FemFic.
Yeah, I'm familiar with Rurik.
Familiar, and
Yeah.
probably will remember that if I saw it again.
It was a really long Rainbow Dash and Spitfire ship fic.
That was it.
yeah. That was that one. And I also have the fortune of meeting and becoming good friends with Skeeter the Lurker. He's everywhere, lurking about as one does. One of my best editors is Solid Fire. He's sort of like MIA at the moment though, so hopefully he'll surface again. And who else? DJ Thomp, ubiquitous commenter on everything on the whole this whole goddamn site. We managed to go suck him into our circle of friends, and now I play games with him all the time. So yeah, those are the people I definitely keep up the most with from the early writing days.
And me, of course.
Awesome.
Yes,
Friends
yes, of
like
course,
these.
you.
Me, we're you know, thick as
No.
thieves.
Nope.
With friends like
Now,
these.
Luke.
Nope.
It's all right.
My secret is that I write, but I don't read.
Dude,
I think
it's
I think my
really
favorite's only
fucking same.
What am I? Yeah, I only have 253 stories in my favorites after being on here for 8 years. So you know, I don't do a whole lot of reading. I mostly just write.
No, I'm kidding. I never met you. That's okay.
With friends like these,
Yeah.
who needs girl titties? Moving on.
Girl titties. You have to specify that.
No.
Well, in this fandom, it's very important.
This is true, actually.
So the next question, it's a little bit of a hard one. The final season of Generation 4 is done, and we're entering this strange Generation 4.5 area of My Little Pony Friendship Magic, where Pony Life is going to be a thing. Season 5, or fucking Generation 5 is on the way, so to speak. The show, as we remember it, is over. So where do we go from here as a community? How do we prepare ourselves for the things to come? Or can we simply not? Or what's your take on it?
Well, I don't think anybody was fucking ready or prepared themselves for Generation 4, so I figure it's going to be pretty much the same for Gen 5. In the meanwhile, I guess we'll just continue to face the oncoming apocalypse as we usually do with memes and alcohol and other hardcore drugs like cocaine and heroin. You know how it is.
And don't forget anime. It's a good drug too.
I yes. Well, yeah. Some of my friends from high school are extremely into anime, and I can only pity them.
Well, since you brought up the subject of hard drugs, who's best pony?
That one is definitely Rarity. I was looking through my stories the other day, and I've written so many fucking stories with her as the focal character in them. I just feel like she's I can usually adapt her to pretty much anything I'm trying to write because she's sort of I guess like a focal or character or something that it's just really easy to base things around. I have a lot of fun putting her in scenarios and having her do things, and she can walk the line of both being the drama queen and also the voice of reason. And most importantly, out of the entire show, she's shown that she's the one most ready to go beat somebody's ass in if the time comes. Rainbow Dash likes to look tough, but Rarity's actually went and like killed people, so you know how it goes.
But you do know she's the worst character, right?
The worst what?
Worst character.
Well, I'm afraid that you're gonna have to diagnose you with stupidity.
Wow, that's actually quite offensive.
Inaccurate.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's the hard truths.
You know, I kind of agree that she's the first one to start kicking ass because remember when those dragons were threatening Spike? She's just like, I'll fucking murder you.
See, Enigma. If he doesn't know, intelligent, game design, what does he know?
What does I know?
We're
Yes,
moving
what
on.
does you know?
We're moving on. We're going to start with some questions out in the thread from RK Striker JK5. Number one, what's your favorite non-MLP franchise?
That's a good question. I guess like thing I spend most of my time around that's not consumed with MLP is a game series from my childhood that I absolutely adore, which is the Ace Combat series. You know, fighter plane, arcadey fighter plane game.
Nice, very nice. Right here
So,
with you.
yeah, when Ace Combat 7 came out last year, I fucking lost it, honestly. It had been so long since we had an actual, like, mainline game from those, and it was phenomenal. And I've already beaten the campaign, like, at least 10 times in 10 different ways.
Same. Fucking same.
But
Fucking
don't you
organizer.
see?
1 million! 1 million lives! Yeah, the one I actually recently did yet another playthrough of that, where I was doing the campaign with the hardest difficulty, no parts on the plane, and only using the squad plane of whatever squad you're in at the time. So I had to start out with the F-16, and then the early middle part of the campaign I had to suffer through the fucking F-4 because there isn't really a squad plane for the 444 squadron, but I assumed something shitty like the F-4 would work. That was miserable.
I thought they all used fucking like F-15s aside from Count.
No, there's what's his name? The guy who's always breaking the stuff or trying to steal things to get blown up by Bandog and Count. Was that? Yeah.
Fucking
I forget his name. But yeah, he flies an F-18. That's why he gets blasted in that mission because he's flying the same plane as all the drone planes.
I don't believe that for a second. I believe he was targeted.
Yeah, he was definitely targeted, but that's why the Bandog was able to get away with making him do that because he was flying the same plane as all the drone planes, so he just tricked the poor idiot Count into killing him.
Yeah, fair.
But yeah, that was the F-4, and then for the rest of that, it was the F-15, which that at least had the pulse lasers on it, so the rest of the campaign wasn't too painful.
Fair.
Well, have you done any fan-related content for a non-MLP franchise? Doesn't necessarily have to be Ace Combat?
Not really. Like, this is pretty much the only thing I've written actual stories and stuff for. I've done some crossover things with, like, Frostpunk was one of my way more popular crossovers. I wrote a short story with that. But unless you count making memes and Reddit posts and other things content, that's going to be a hard no from me.
All right, fair enough. Number 3, how have you handled the legacy of being the 24th Pegasus? How is the training of your successor, the 25th Pegasus, going?
No, I'd say it's been going pretty well, handling being the 24th Pegasus. There was some rough patches in the beginning with the other 23, but they aren't in much of a position to complain right now. And
wow.
If I have my way, there isn't going to be a successor.
Wow, that sounds like a fucking threat.
Yeah.
It is.
You make it sound like you're a goddamn Time Lord of Pegasi. Like every time you die, you just regenerate.
Maybe. But
How do we
I'm
know
not
you're
exactly
not?
at the liberty to discuss that now, am I?
Oh, got us. He got us.
Exactly.
We're going now to Chad the Lad, who is the laddiest lad. Number 1, do you like a Star Wars?
Yeah, I for the most part, I'll say I enjoyed Star Wars. I don't like to talk about the most recent trilogy because I think they're garbage, but I did really like the original trilogy, the sequel or prequel trilogy. That's great for memes, of course.
Right.
And I liked the one standalone movie, Rogue One, and of course The Mandalorian. Those are both really good. So yes, overall, yes, I do like Star Wars.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I feel like this feels silly to ask, but this is his questions. Video games or no?
No, go fuck yourself. I never played a video game my whole life. Yeah, yes, definitely video games. And, again, the Ace Combat series is sort of my favorite there, but I've wasted way too many hours in Paradox's 4X games.
So then, do you have a favorite dad joke?
No, I do not have a favorite dad joke because I was not really exposed to them much as kids because my dad just wasn't the kind of guy to make those. He'd joke around all the time, but I don't think I ever heard him make like a solid stereotypical dad joke. So my dad joke experience is probably for better lacking.
I thought you were going to say that you didn't have a dad, and I was just going to be like, oh, fuck, Enigma, you have a friend.
Oh, perfect.
Whoa. No, my rule on this is if your dad doesn't make dad jokes, you are the joke he made.
Jesus Christ.
That's if your dad doesn't make dad jokes.
Well, I have 3 other brothers, so if I have to find where the joke in that lies in.
Well, all good jokes have sequels and punchlines.
Exactly.
Let's see. Up next, we have. Do you have a favorite color?
I guess blue. I don't really have much to say about that.
You guess blue. You
Have you
fucking
never-
please.
Yeah, I guess.
Have you never stopped once in your life to think about what color erects you the most?
I bet you like periwinkle.
I mean, it's a nice color.
Degenerate. All right.
Well, you got me there.
This is the quality of guest you've given us, Milk.
Absolutely superb.
He's the best.
What is your favorite music genre?
That's going to be hard into the dad rock because, dear God, I listen to way too much dad rock. So my radio in my car is permanently set to like the classic rock station.
Hell yeah, man!
Very, very
Like Guns N' Roses or like
Tom Petty is probably my favorite. Tom
okay.
Petty and the Heartbreakers is probably my favorite band.
Hey, that's nothing wrong with the classics.
Yeah, so the good old 70s and 80s.
Alrighty. Next question. What is your current favorite meme?
Bruh.
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 That's meme. Having a favorite meme is honestly a really, really sad situation you find yourself in. But that's the one that when I'm just playing games with my friends and stuff, if something funny happens, I'll just go bruh. So that I guess that's my favorite meme because that's the one I'm saying all the time.
Okay.
So what is your meme sona?
What? I could not hear whatever that was.
What is your meme sona?
Meme Sona? If I had to go turn a meme into my meme Sona, it would fuck if I know. It'd be it'd be what's his name? The bartender in The Simpsons looking at the noose in his closet, going, "Not today, friend."
Oh God.
Not today, friend, but probably tomorrow.
Not today. Yeah, maybe. You know, every day is new possibilities.
Yes, that is how it works. That is
Yep.
how a life works.
Exactly.
Don't kill yourself. Next question. Cat burbs or fish burbs? Griffins or hippogriffs?
Definitely hippogriffs. 100%.
Hell yeah.
Griffins are all canonical assholes, I guess, except for Gabby. She's like the only good one.
Like the only decision between those two is which asses you prefer, lion asses or horse asses.
Well, they don't really call us in the fandom lion fuckers for a reason.
Yes. We are horse fuckers through and
That's
through.
Exactly.
a good point.
Now then, some asshole named Skeeter the Lurker,
Oh,
which I
fuck
can
that guy.
only tell is him because of the way he signed his comment.
Man, it's not like there's a
Skeeter, oh my
fucking
God.
name to the left of the comment. God.
He asked, "What's the top 5 best moments of the show?" And not
God.
be the show, since he's
Yeah.
specific.
Yeah. I gotta say, I guess if I had a favorite moment from the show, I'm a hardcore Rare Dash shipper, so all of the Rarity Investigates episode was like perfect fuel for me. So that's definitely way up there as some of the best moments. I guess also anytime that our lovely main cast are just kicking ass and taking names, like the T-Rex fight at the end of season 4, that was awesome. And then the finale was really good. So just shipping and explosions. It's really simple how to figure out what's the best there.
Fair enough. And then, what's the best thing to happen to you, pony-centric wise?
Probably just getting to meet the people that I've had the opportunity to meet from writing and from Pony and all that. Because I don't even know what I'd be doing if I never got into the Pony fan and writing in the first place, but I'd probably be a lot better off, so at least I have somebody to share the misery with. But yeah, just getting to meet people, talk with them, and share our degeneracy has been probably the best thing to get out of writing and getting into the fandom.
In an alternate universe, you're swole with your brother.
That's a horrifying thought.
Speaking of horrifying thoughts, Alex _ has the next set of questions. Number 1, A. If clouds could talk, what would they sound like?
That is a really good question. They'd probably be depressed because they're raining all the time, and you know, raining is sadness. So you're gonna have a bunch of sad clouds talk about how miserable their day was, and you're gonna have to deal with that, especially when it's raining.
That sounds like work. Like going to work every day.
Yeah, but now, yeah, imagine you go to work and everybody talks about how depressed and miserable they are, and then you go back home and the clouds won't shut the fuck up about how depressed and miserable they are. Even when it's nighttime and you're trying to sleep, you're just hearing the moaning and sadness going on above you.
That sounds like hell.
Then what's the thunder?
Like the whales.
Yeah, the wails and sadness, or maybe when they're drinking to make the pain go away and they get into a fucking bar fight. So you never know.
Yeah, they're ringing. They're like, wee. That's thunder.
Sure. you do you, man.
Number 1B, what wisdom would the clouds have to share?
Shit ain't better up there than it is down here, that's for sure.
Alright. And then number 2, what's the funniest thing someone said to you in the last week?
Oh, God.
Please don't be, would you like to come on to the Barcast?
No. one, that wasn't last week, and two, that definitely wouldn't qualify. Last week, I don't know. If somebody said something pretty funny to me in the last week, it was probably last night, and I was definitely too drunk to remember what it was. I just know at one point I was laughing with tears streaming down my face as I was playing Halo with friends and absolutely smashed. Right. So something funny did happen. Fuck if I know what it was.
It was probably a Master Chief.
Yeah, just one Master Chief walked up to me and said, "I need a weapon," and it was just the funniest shit.
I understood this reference. Number
Good
3.
Good job, you did it.
Is there a song lyric that's really really spoken to you? What the fuck, Alex? What is this fucking question?
I may have been intoxicated when I wrote this.
Lay off the fucking sauce!
No, do more. Only good things can happen.
Is there a song lyric that's really spoken to you? Really you? Question.
And no, I've never been name called in a song before, so I'm gonna have to say no on that.
Okay. Number 4, how do I set myself free? Alex.
You know the answer to that. You know in your heart what it is, but do you have the courage?
The answer is what 24th Pegasus says.
Can you do it? Can you be the guy? Can you be the guy that becomes the free guy?
I want to be your guy, 24th.
Oh, that's a mistake. You should stop right there.
I want to be the guy.
Please, write out the instruction manual for me. How do I liberate myself?
I'm sorry, I don't know how to write. You're gonna have to find somebody else.
I'm gonna move on to 25th.
Well, it's a good thing for me and a bad thing for you. There is no 25th.
Oh shit.
The next question is, when is a lie the truth?
When the truth is a lie, very simply put.
Very succinct.
Exactly.
Number 6, what is the worst thing you've ever had in your mouth?
So I know we were talking about birds earlier, and birds have this wonderful ability to just sort of teleport their shit wherever they want it to go. I think if my bird had a stand from like JoJo or something, that would be his power. Sometimes I'll just find shit in places I don't even know how he got it there. But yes, there was one time I've had bird shit in my mouth, and I don't know how he did it, but he did.
I like to think the name of the stand is Powerline.
Tell me anecdote, please.
Is that a Goofy movie reference?
Well, all stand names are band names, and there's that guy named Powerline, so yeah.
Yeah. The anecdote for that is honestly not really anything interesting. What was I doing? I think I was just probably playing video games as I do because I have no life outside of sadness and writing occasionally. And I think there was I remember there was something hard between my teeth, and I pulled it out, and it was dried up bird shit. I'm like, how did this even get in here?
Yeah.
So honestly, I don't know. He's a magical creature that he can do things like that.
Dry in your mouth, which is
it was definitely dry, and so that means it'd been out for a while.
Yeah,
I don't know how.
Actually, wet environment, isn't it? Your mouth.
I
don't know how it managed to get into there.
Was it dry before it entered, or did it dry inside your?
Birds do not have dry shits. That is.
I can confirm, and I think I know how it got in there. As a bird owner, you at one point let your bird stick its head in your mouth.
I've had him do that before, but you definitely didn't do that on that day.
Yeah, no. So it doesn't make sense. So he shat in your mouth, and then you thought, okay, I'll keep this in my in my cheek.
Yeah, it'll be a nice little treat for later.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to be rude. 24 Pegasus. Are you a rational human being? Why would you? So hang on. It's very wet. It's bird shit. It's very liquid. Why are you letting it dry out in your house?
If I knew the answer to that, this would probably be much less of a mystery to me as it is to you.
I'm ending the mystery. We're moving on. Skeeter has more fucking questions.
Oh man.
Oh, I feel like my world is ruined.
It is.
If that ruined your world, then I don't know what it was like before.
Oh, it was pretty bad. Not gonna lie. Skeeter asks, if you could, would you?
100%.
Hondo P.
Yep.
Number 2, Pepsi or Coke?
Definitely Pepsi. I think I'll drink both, but the only time I actually drink them is if I get it with the food I get from someplace like a one of those street carts or whatever, or if I'm getting drunk, in which case it's used as a mixer. In both times, I prefer Pepsi.
My man, that's quality content right there. Italian sub, hot or cold?
I'm probably gonna have to say cold if he's talking about the stereotypical Italian sub. If it's something like a meatball sub, then obviously that needs to be, heated up. But if I'm gonna have an Italian sub, it's definitely got to be cool and refreshing.
The only Italian sub I like is the one at the bottom of the Mediterranean.
Wow, that's offensive to my people.
I'm disappointed in all of you.
Coming from a very proud family of Italian Americans.
Well,
I just like to think you surface up in this submarine. You go, don't you see?
Don't you see?
Don't you see, Luigi? 1 million of meatballs.
You stepped all over my crisp white bed sheets, Luigi. He ruined them with his dirty, dirty boots.
Let's see if the British will help with our next attack.
What is
God
happening?
fucking damn it.
That's a good question. You'll have to figure that one out.
Oh, I'm trying, and I just have fucking nothing.
Fucking Captain Mario Torini.
We're gonna grab the next question from Skeeter, which is actually a good question. Not that all of Skeeter's other questions weren't good; they were just shit.
Oof.
What is the best story that you've written, in your opinion?
So I mean, if you're gonna go by numbers alone, then that story would be Numbers, coincidentally, because that's like really high up in the rankings. So that's sort of an objective, sort of speaking. Subjectively, I think my favorite stories have written Surviving Sand Island. That was a really fun one, even though the ending for those who read it was pretty controversial. So if you've read it, you kind of know what I'm talking about, but I'm not going to spoil it for anybody that hasn't and wants to go sink their time into that. The City Must Survive, that was the Frostpunk crossover I wrote. I reread that the other day. I still really enjoy that story. Yeah, on my comment earlier about I don't really read things, I only write them. About the only things I really read are my own shit after I write it. So yeah, that I reread, and that was still really good.
I relate because I'm actually exactly the same way. Like, I try to set aside time to read shit on the site, but I just don't.
I definitely don't even have the time to just set aside to purposely read stuff. And I have a bunch of things that, everybody has their fucking read later folder that they fill with shit that they'd like, oh, that would be neat. Maybe I'll read that later. And it never happens. So occasionally I'll go mark stories like that. And I'm like, oh, maybe I'll read this when I'm bored at work or something. And instead I just waste my time on Discord or with all the servers I have that I'm part of, or just doing other shit. So stuff never really gets read. So yeah, my best story is definitely Numbers or Surviving Sand Island or The City Must Survive. That's the Frostpunk one, the last one. Those three, if people wanted to get a good sense of what I'm writing, at least what I'm writing nowadays as opposed to what I used to write way back when, those three are definitely high quality things, in my opinion, that are pretty high quality that I've written.
Hang on, how long was your read later?
Yeah, go put it into your read laters, and you'll never find it. My read later is 151 stories, so like I said, I don't really trawl through Filmfic looking for things to add and read. So I know I've seen horror stories of people that have thousands of stories in their read later folders and such.
Yeah, them's rookie numbers, my dude.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that's what happens when I don't give a shit.
Get good.
Fair.
You
Uh,
can't make me.
The final story from Skeeter, or final story, Jesus Christ.
Yep.
The final question.
This is the end of the
Okay.
story of Skeeter.
What's the best story you've read?
Best story I've read, probably
Say one
best
of mine,
series.
please.
No. The best series I've read definitely goes to the Austria series from Short Skirts Explosions, Imploding Colon, whatever he feels like calling himself at the time. That's probably my favorite series. The last story I absolutely loved that I binge read all the way through, which is impressive considering the fact that I don't really read stuff, was a story called The Mayor in the High Castle by Pony Kazum or something like that, however you pronounce his name. But he's been, offline for 4 years, so he's presumably found better things to do with his time.
Dead.
Right.
And that's not going to have any more put to the series than that. That story, like I said, I binge read that one. The sort of atmosphere and setting that he set up in the city, the whole story takes place over the events of one day-ish. And the sort of setting and atmosphere he set up in that was really well done. And just the sort of world building that he made. Obviously, by the title of the story, it's based off of the Man in the High Castle, the book series by Philip K. Dick, and the Amazon TV series that they made as well. And he did a really good thing making it sort of a unique sort of story. It wasn't just a copy paste from the book, but changing things over to be the character, like ponies instead of humans and whatnot. But I can't give that story enough praise. It was just very well put together, and the events that unfold over the story over the course of one night are huge, crazily well put together. So that's probably my favorite single story on this site.
Awesome. Now we got questions from that other guy, who has arguably some of people's favorite question.
Oh boy.
How does this make you feel? This being the picture that I just put behind the counter. It is
probably indifferent because I follow Dolores on Twitter, so I see this stuff all the time. So honestly, at this point, this is probably some of his more tame, grotesque Twilights that he's made. So I'm just I guess that's a thing.
I think it's pretty awesome. Honestly,
Did you see the one where deformed Twilight is threatening to eat Spike, and Spike is meh?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've seen that one. Yeah, his grotesqueries that he's made of Twilight is I think Sweetie Belle's usually with her, or Apple Bloom, one of the CMC is always with her when the shit is going on. They're always good for a sort of quick "what the fuck am I looking at" laugh when I'm sitting on the toilet shitting and browsing through Twitter as one does. So in short, how does that make me feel? Neat.
Pretty neat, my dude.
Wow,
And
that's neato.
how much charity money would it take for you to star in a porno? So the money doesn't go to you, but it goes to a charity of your choice.
Does the charity of choice sponsor me? Can I do it that way?
No.
Oh
This is
well.
not the human fund.
Then you're gonna need to really go jack those numbers up to something crazy because I'm an asshole who doesn't really care about other people. Dab. So you're gonna have to go push those numbers up and to put a lot of zeros behind it if you're gonna get me to star in a porno for money going to other people.
Awesome. Totally Not a Brony's up next. And ask, would you agree? Hold on. Hold on. I need a judge ruling. Milk, does this question follow the rules?
It's politics 70 years ago, isn't it?
That's just what they call history.
Yeah.
History is just the long time ago politics.
I mean, it's true. Okay.
America, fuck yeah!
Okay. Then the question is, would you agree that with the common historical assessment that the U.S. submarine fleet was a major factor in Japan's World War II defeat?
I mean, I know it's definitely a factor considering that they would have disrupted shipping and all that shit amongst an empire stretching throughout the sea. So definitely that would be a factor. But honestly, I think there are many more factors that were much more major than that contributed to Japan's defeat. First and foremost, well, yeah, the bombs, but that's not first and foremost. That's last and hard stop. Period. But first and foremost would just be the fact that Japan at the time had basically no resources or industry to go wage a protracted war like the U.S. or the Allies could. So I think I'd seen something back in high school. So the sort of a side note tangent, I'm sort of like a really big World War II history buff. So
please go right ahead.
No, please.
If I start getting into just like random details, that's why. So back in, I guess it was in high school, I watched some documentary about the Pacific War. I don't even remember what the documentary was titled or like what battles it was focusing on. But there was one graphic that stood out to me from that. Sort of sums up why the most major reason why Japan couldn't go punch for punch with the United States in a protracted war was that Japan's industry could furnish about 80 pounds of just raw equipment per soldier that they fielded. So for every soldier they had in the field of battle, their industry was able of making about 80 pounds of just war supplies, whether that's in tanks or guns or ships or whatever. On the other hand, you have the United States, where every soldier the United States could field, they could field something like 80,000 pounds of equipment for the war effort. So when they're fighting a mechanized modern war like that, it's much easier to go win the fight by just drowning your opponent in war products, whether that's artillery shells or planes or boats or tanks. And that's basically what the United States and the Allies did to the Axis powers throughout the war. So that would 100% be pretty much the biggest reason why Japan got smoked by the U.S. once the war started really going on.
Pretty much.
They got outproduced and couldn't compete.
We just shit down their throat and won. GG.
Exactly.
People forget. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Never mind.
No, it's fine. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying that at least for the first year and a half, because they were still on the momentum. But as you said, once we started blasting their ships out of the water, they just couldn't compete anymore.
Yeah, like
I remember reading that through the entirety of the war, from start to finish, when they were engaging us, they commissioned like a couple dozen ships or whatever like that, while America commissioned about 400 naval vessels.
Yeah, exactly. they just couldn't keep up with what happens if you have a country with as many resources and a huge population industry like the United States going like, fuck it, we're going to destroy you now. There wasn't much they could do about that. And then it comes down to the end where we knew glass 2 of their cities like, we'll fucking do it again. You better give up right now.
You're describing him like Goofy. I'll do it again.
Don't fucking try it.
That's what we said after we unfounded Hiroshima. Then we're like, I'll fucking do it again.
Then we're gonna do it again, bitch. Give up.
We unfounded Nagasaki. Then they're like, well, maybe. And then the Soviets invaded.
The emperor at that point is like, you know what? It's probably a good idea if we called it quits right now.
Literally, it's like, nope.
All right, speaking of shitting down people's throats, the next person is Short Skirts and Explosions. Here to ask you some questions, my dude. But he asked the titular question he asks everyone on this cast. What doth life?
Life doth what death dothn't. Very simple.
Did you just fucking Genesis us?
Exactly.
Didn't intend did what it didn't. Fuck, I got it wrong.
Oh, well, there you go.
Jesus Christ!
Right, close it down. It's all over.
Oh, God. Next question up is from Jammer. Number one, what's it like to write? Do you have any tips, tricks, or things that you wish you knew when you first started?
So, probably the best way I can describe what it's like to write is that I have this awesome new idea in my head, and I want to go share it to everybody else on this site because they must be forced to look at my ideas because they're better than theirs. And, well, the big problem is that I cannot get idea in my head to screen on somebody else's computer without it going through my hands. And my hands don't know what the fuck they're doing most of the time. So a lot of the idea gets garbled in that that sort of translation from thought to actually trying to make a story. And that can be really frustrating. As you have this awesome idea and all these things you want to write and things you want to put down, and then you actually start writing out. You write like maybe 2 paragraphs and like, I have no fucking idea what I'm doing. How am I going to get this onto my page? And well, it's just a constant struggle to find the words to express what you're thinking about, what your ideas are, and then on top of that, find the way to connect them together because all stories come up with a couple of cool ideas, and then you start writing, and you're like, wait, there's nothing between this idea and the next idea. Fuck, I need to figure something out. So I guess, just listening to myself say it again, there's a lot of anger involved in trying to go right for this, just trying to write anything, trying to figure shit out. So yeah, tips, tricks, or things I wish I knew when I started. It's not going to happen on the first draft. It's absolutely not. You'll write something, you'll think it's good, and you'll step away for a couple of days and come back to like, why did I do this? This is awful. And that kind of goes into the tips and tricks things, is that if you write something, before you do anything else with it, you need to go take a few days away from it, do something else, forget about it, and then read it again, because you'll pick up on things that you wouldn't have noticed in the moment of writing. Or if it's too fresh in your brain will just sort of connect the dots on its own and gloss over them. So if you're going to write something, know you're going to write a first draft and it's going to be bad. So go take some time, do whatever, come back to it, and then start polishing it, and you'll have a much better product at the end of the day.
Well said, actually. It's all entirely true. You gotta be prepared for failure and anger and self-doubt.
And to quote something that one of my writing professors I had in college, I took some like creative writing electives. One of the things he said, a rule for editing that I try to follow, but I'm not really good about it, is that it's the 10% rule. If any of you have ever sort of heard about that before, the 10% rule is just simply whatever you write, when you go back to edit it, you need to remove 10% of what you have. So if you wrote 500 words, you need to cut out 50 of them. If you wrote 1,000 words, you need to cut out 100 of them. Because there's just a lot of fluff that you're going to include while you're trying to sort of stream of consciousness, write things down onto the paper. And the more concise you can sort of get your points, the better overall the final quality is going to be. So just if you're starting to really polish something up, maybe second to third draft, just start trying to cut things down by 10%. And at the end of the day, you'll probably have a much better product than what you started with.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 2.
Yes.
Jesus Christ, you guys.
Oh, yeah.
If you were given 33 drinks of your choice every week, would you give 90 a place to stay at or near your home?
No, because giving myself 33 drinks of my choice every week, God, would probably result in me having severe liver failure and dying. So no, I'm gonna have to say it for my own good. That's a no to number 2.
All right. Now then, we're good. Okay, I've got a few more questions before we have to do our mid-roll ad. Number 3, are you aware of the OC thing, Pone? I'm assuming you are.
Yeah, I've seen it here and there. Wasn't that something that TJ Pone started like back when, or at least that's where I first saw it.
Predates TJ.
That was when I first saw it like years ago. So yes, I'm aware of what it is.
TJ has a knack of like taking things that are kind of like niche and then like blowing it up so it's super popular. But like our favorite thing Pone image is fucking, if I spell it right,
you can do it.
This one. Ain't she gorgeous?
Yeah, that's a thing, all right.
Would you hug Thing Pone? Would you kiss them goodnight? Would you tell them that everything is going to be all right? And would you stick your cock in her or snoodle boop her and let her be your roommate?
I'm gonna have to say no, no, thank you, fam. I've already had mine.
All right,
So that's gonna be a no from me on the thing bone front.
fair enough. And then the last question from Jammer is: if you were to hug anyone on the Barcast, why would it not be Enigma?
You know, that's a really good question, and the only answer I have to that is that, well, I don't really know all you people pretty much at all. So you're out of luck, friend.
I didn't want your hug
What
anyway.
do you mean, you people?
You people, exactly what I mean.
You horse people.
Well, I mean, you could be horses if you want to, but we all know that you're not. That's a dream that you have, but it's never going to be true.
And if you horse and if you don't horse, then you ain't no horse of mine?
Sure,
Yeah,
let's go with that.
Anyway. We are about halfway through our allotted time. If you guys have questions, be sure to throw them in on our thread. We have them out on Film Fiction. But for everyone who's tuning in at home, we have a little advertisement thing. Yay! Advertisements, products, and services. First of all, would you like to be a person that's on the Barcast? No? Fuck. Okay. Well, if you want to get on the Barcast, consider joining Jake the Army Guy's writing contest, where second place is getting interviewed by us. It's for some reason we're a prize. I'm actually sorry.
We're not even the top prize. We're like a second prize.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just a consolation prize.
Try really hard not to get on the Barcast.
It's true. It's actually a thing. And then the other half of our usual advertisement is usually talking about how we help horses over at Red Wings Horse Sanctuary. 100% of our profits and proceeds from all of our advertisements and Patreon and all of the bits that you guys donate on Twitch goes to a little bit over in Red Wings Horse Sanctuary. But in lieu of a normal advertisement, I actually have a letter from them today.
Oh my god.
Addressed to Milk, but arrived at my address. Dear Barcast, thank you so much for your generous support and recurring donations to Red Wings Horse Sanctuary. We truly appreciate your support, totaling an amount of $700 in 2019. We are grateful that we have been able to count on your contribution to help us fulfill our mission to rescue abused and neglected horses. Due to supporters like you, we've accepted 18 horses in the past year, and we continue to provide excellent care for our permanent residents and adoptable horses alike. We especially appreciate your sponsor of Little Bit of Stardust, aka Little Bit, who continues to do well and helps us orient children to grooming and handling horses. And then they actually included all the different horses that they adopted this year, including pictures, and talked about all the new horses they adopted and all the structures they built for them. So thank you so much to everyone who's been donating over the past few years. Please continue to help your generous support. It really means a lot to us. We're actually able to give back to the community through your guys' support. And we hope to continue doing it for a very long time. So thank you.
This is a lot better of a letter that we got for this time compared to last time.
Oh, it's true. Yeah, like last time it was basically a postcard.
Well, I mean, no, because last time we got a letter about Big Mac.
Oh, that's right. And Big Mac died.
Yeah.
Oh, good to know that your charity killed him. Perfect.
He's in the glue factory in heaven now.
To be fair, he made great burgers.
Nice.
But that said, thank you for allowing us to do our little distraction. We've got more questions for you, 24th.
Oh boy.
24th. Setton's up next, who asks you, what is your favorite meal, snack, or food stuff that's really unhealthy, but it's just so good?
This goes in line with my early comments, and that's definitely alcohol. Please help me. Actually, it's sort of a I guess, funny and said, when I first went into college, I was 6'4" and 155 pounds, and now I'm not that anymore.
Oh no.
Only one thing to blame for that.
Oh my god, you became shorter?
Coffee?
Yeah, I know. Alcohol just went and fucking kneecapped me when I didn't have the money for it anymore. Couldn't pay the protection fee.
Damn. That's fucking intense, mate. Now, number 2. What is your biggest or weirdest fear that you have?
So, my biggest or weirdest fear that I have probably seems a little odd at first for somebody who's 25 years old. And that's that my weirdest fear that I always have, or biggest fear I always have, is that I'm going to have like a heart attack or some sort of failure when I'm trying to sleep or whatever. And
I get that.
well, to give some backstory on why somebody that's still in the prime of their youth would worry about having a heart attack, is that I actually have a slight like deformity on my heart. It's called mitral valve prolapse. So one of the chambers of my heart, whenever it beats, it doesn't close properly.
Yikes.
And that's not really a thing to worry about. It's not going to kill me. It's really minor. There's just a little bit of blood goes backwards when it pumps instead of forwards. But the thing about it is that my heart, when it beats, I'm acutely aware of it beating, so I can pretty much always hear it or feel it beating, and it beats more irregularly than like a normal heart would. So when I'm trying to go to sleep late at night and it's quiet, I can usually just hear my heart, and sometimes it's fluttering about. I'm like, I'm gonna fucking die. But no, I'm not actually at really any risk of that happening, and I go see a cardiologist every year. But sometimes when you're just trying to get to sleep and that's what you're hearing constantly, it sort of puts a weird paranoia in you. And then it goes away in the morning because I have other things to think about, and I don't think about it again until I'm trying to sleep again. So that's the cursed existence I live. How are you guys' days?
I have clinical depression. See therapy on it. So that's a thing.
No,
Nice.
I hate feeling my own heart though. I think that's quite normal. You sort of feel like it's going to stop, don't you?
Yeah, because I mean, like I said, with the whole mitral valve prolapse thing, is that it also has a sort of a regular beat to it that gets really pronounced when I'm laying down and trying to sleep.
Why?
So I can feel my heart going like ba-dum, 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 ba-dum.
I don't have the prolapse thing, but even I get paranoid when I'm feeling my own heart. I'm like, oh my god. Is it
Yeah,
gonna
well,
stop?
yeah, imagine having something like what I do. You hear it and feel it quite a lot, so it's sort of a constant companion.
Yeah, I have issues with prolapse, but not in my heart. Somewhere else.
Well, that can kill you in different ways.
Isn't prolapse that thing where your like anus turns inside out, or am I thinking of something else?
No,
Yeah, that's basically what a prolapse is.
No, that's it.
I saw what Alex was sneakily making his way towards, and I just wanted him to have his joke, and then you just explained it Enigma and made it fucking garbage. I'm so
Louder,
mad at
louder
you.
for all the children in the room, Peter Griffin.
Anal prolapse.
Exactly.
The next fucking question is, why is bad milk the best milk?
Who is this person? Where can I kill them?
Fucking, they live in Canada.
Oh, that explains it then. If you think bagged milk is the best milk, you really need to go sort of take a long look in the mirror and wonder, what did you do to become Canadian?
I think most of them are just born there.
Yeah, well, maybe they should have tried harder for that to not happen.
I mean, maybe it's Maybelline, but they're just born with it.
They're born with bagged milk, and it's a curse. It's a curse that they have to deal with every day. If we all band together, we can destroy Canada and bagged milk for good, and it will save them all.
Okay. What is your one annoying habit is the next question. So something that other people do that just really irritates you, or something you do that just really irritates other people.
Okay, I don't know what I do that irritates other people, because I am obviously a perfect human being and would never do such a thing. But something that other people do that irritates me is when I get into larger Discord servers, like some that have like thousands of people in them, I just see role playing all the time. Like, why? Why do you people need to do this? it just looks awkward and weird to me, or pretty much everybody who's not involved in text roleplay or whatever in your servers. It just, whenever I see it, I'm like, why is this happening? Can I go someplace else, please?
Are you telling me you're not a fan of Uwu Glomp?
No, I really am not a fan, and I would say more things, but that would probably get everybody here killed by the FBI. So you know how it is.
Huggles you as he walks into chat.
All right, I'm gonna head out.
All right.
Hey, 24th, one at ERP.
No, please go away.
Wow, rude.
Stop
Next.
right there.
Next question. What is the theme song for your sex life?
That is 100%. The internet is for porn.
Nice.
Very witty. Next question is, do you watch anime by chance?
Absolutely not. I might be a brony, but I'm not that sad.
Oh, okay. I'm just gonna sit here and judge myself now.
Yep, yeah, you might as well. Yeah, it's like I said, I kind of briefly mentioned earlier, a whole bunch of my friends from high school are like really into anime and stuff, and they tried to like make me watch with them. Like, I hate this. Why is this happening? Why are they all the same? Please stop it. And
Wow,
now I've just become the anti-anime guy in my friend group.
I'm sorry, they probably showed you Boku no Pico.
I don't think they showed me that because I've heard things about that. But it seems like every single one that they watched or showed me was like slice of life school stuff. I'm like, they're all the fucking same. Please stop. I don't want to watch any more of this.
Understood. Now then, up next. Well, how big is your porn stash?
Who even stores porn on their computer anymore? What are you
Fucking
living in,
right.
fucking 1995? Come on, man.
We get this question every week.
You don't need to store your porn on your computer for Al Gore to find it later. You can go do whatever you want. It's always there on the internet. You can find it easily.
Why do you want?
I do not have. Well, if the internet goes away, I think you have a lot more problems to worry about than your porn.
I'm just trying to understand why Al Gore wants my porn.
Well, he invented the internet after all, don't you remember?
Oh, Christ. Is this going back to, it's a series of tubes? You can't just put the internet in a van and drive away?
It's just a series of tubes, man. Come on.
Oh my God. I haven't heard that meme in fucking years.
Bringing it back, baby.
Number 8. Who is your waifu or husbando and why are they shit?
So, I don't even think I can really answer this because, you know, I might be lonely and pleasuring myself because I don't have a significant other to do that. But I'm not going to stoop down to that level where I'm going to try to pretend that some imaginary character, it would happily be my girlfriend or whatever. So, I don't really think I have a waifu because, well, I don't see why or how people get in that mindset where they try to waifu something.
Fair, but you also like Rarity.
Yeah, she's certainly an interesting character to write, and she's probably my favorite of the main cast. But I'm not gonna go out here like, man, I wish I could date Rarity. Please, somebody make it real. I don't really fucking care.
Alright, fair enough. Now it's time for questions with Violon. Alex, do the thing.
Oh my god. Hang on. Can I hit the high notes? It's time for questions with Vylon.
That was fucking shit. I'm disappointed.
Wow, fuck you.
It's fine. It's
Go
done
squeeze
now.
your balls a little tighter next time. It might help.
It's time for questions with Vylon.
Better. Okay.
Thank you.
Now then, Violon asks you, how are you today?
Pretty good. Gonna get drunk even more after this, so you know I've got things to look forward to.
Hell yes. Now, we only got a handful of more posts out here on our thread, so by all means, if anyone has any more questions, they are checking live on Twitch right now, go ahead and throw some questions into our forum thread, and we'll be sure to get to them. Up next is DJ Thomp, that guy that you said is a person.
Yeah, it's that guy. Who would have thought?
Oh shit, it's that boy.
Wow.
Late question. What is your opinion of the current status of the coronavirus outbreak? Is that a politic?
It can get into politics, but I'll do my best to stay away from that if you want to roll with it.
I trust you. You can do this.
Yeah,
True.
exactly.
Yes.
So a little bit of backstory about this. I've been to school for biomedical engineering and stuff like that, so I'm sort of well into the medicine and biology side of things, so I'm pretty sure that's why he's asking that question.
Shit. Okay.
Yeah, so I did not decide to go throw my future away by trying to go get some sort of writing degree or whatever. I actually went into science and engineering. So to sort of answer that question in a non-political manner is that there have been many worse outbreaks like SARS and MERS than the coronavirus. It's just way overblown. And there's been some things that have been happening that have made it, get more out of control than it should be in various countries. But for the most part, I think it's sensationalism. It's overhyped. And I mean, at this point, scientists in Australia and France, they already figured out what the genome of the thing is. And how medicine goes, once you know what the genome of a disease is, its time is more or less limited depending on how much people are paying attention to it. And I guess one of the good things about it being so overhyped and sensationalized is that there are a lot of labs around the world paying attention to it that are trying to go develop vaccines for it. I currently am working at a co-op at a Johnson & Johnson company, so I've seen a little bit of the inside of what they're doing. And yeah, the big companies, the big biotech, the big pharma companies are all working on trying to go make some vaccine or cure for it. So really, in short, it's sensationalized, it's overhyped, and its time on this planet is very limited.
Wow, that was actually a really succinct and well-informed answer.
When you were describing it, I was imagining like a scientist, macho man, savage, just calling out the disease on a trailer.
Oh yeah, coronavirus, your time in this ring is very limited, yeah. I'm going to go put an end to you with the leg drop off the top ropes.
Because the cream always rises to the top.
The cream will rise to the top, yeah.
That's good.
I guess in case you haven't realized from the shit I've been doing throughout this podcast, imitations are another thing I'm pretty good at.
What's your favorite imitation that you do?
God, I used to do a pretty decent President Obama one back in high school. I haven't done it in a while though, so it's probably bad.
So what's your next one?
The Macho Man Randy Savage one, I do that one occasionally, and you just heard that one.
Remember the day the 24th Pegasus entered our stream?
You remember the day that the 24th Pegasus entered the stream, yeah, and he went and answered all the questions and rose straight up to the top of the mountain, yeah, and he went and left everybody impressed at what they were hearing, and they all wanted to know how to go do the Macho Man Randy Savage voice like he did, yeah, well, it takes a lot of practice and leaning forward as you talk, getting quieter before going, yeah, and yelling and all that. And then eventually, by the time you're done with it, your voice really hurts and you don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah, get it real nice and tied up in between those cheeks. Yeah, and you'll be feeling it come tomorrow morning.
Clap them like you're gonna clap Hogan's ass.
Hollywood Hulk Hogan, I'm coming for you, and I'm gonna take you back down and take my rightful place at the top of the mountain after I do this line of cocaine, yeah.
Can I just have the edit where it's all of you just breathing in?
Just absolutely no words at it. Oh my god. Yeah. There needs to be a thing with that. Just Barcast, no words at it. Just
that it would or just like fucking, or like cool or awesome. Just
it might be the most popular thing you guys ever made.
It's actually true. You're not wrong. But on to positive things that make us not question why we do this. Shakespeare Cleese has questions, which he asks. Number one, what happened to Pegasus number 1 through 22?
We don't really talk about them. They're in, I wouldn't necessarily say a better place right now, but they're in a different place.
He concludes that we don't need to talk about number 3.
That's good, because that was going to be the one I absolutely could not say anything about.
Yes, we know.
Yep. It's really a shame. It's a shame.
It is a shame.
It's a shame.
Chaotic Revenge is up next, who has, holy shit, so many questions. He was trying to ask questions at the beginning of the screen, but now it's his time. Number 1, why did you crucify me, 24?
So in my Discord server, I have a role that I go put on people when they're being naughty, and so that's the crucifixion role, because there's a lot of Rome-related things in there. So I forget what he did that got him crucified. I just know that he's been crucified for like the past 6 months or something on that server. It's been a while.
Got him.
So honestly, I don't know what you did, Chaotic Revenge, but I don't really have the effort or energy to take you down from the cross at this point.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, that will show him.
That now he's really gonna learn his lesson.
That'll show him.
The next question is, why is writing so hard?
So, I mean, writing is hard because writing is hard. And sometimes it's really hard to write while you are yourself hard. So, you know, there's things that go hand in hand with that, depending on what you're writing. But,
in fact, what you have done there.
Exactly. If you want an actual answer for why is writing so hard, I guess rewind this fucking stream YouTube video when it's put on YouTube back until I've answered somebody else's question about that. Because I don't think I'm going to... after doing the Randy Savage voice, I'm starting to feel my throat go. So I can't really go back into doing that again.
Yeah, fuck all that. We Randy Savaged ourselves into a hole.
We Randy Savage? No, yeah.
I've been hard since we did the voice, yeah.
Who is your favorite Chaos God?
I don't get in. I don't never really been interested in Warhammer stuff, so I assume that's what he's talking about.
I
don't have an answer.
Talking about too.
I don't have an answer for you because I don't care about Warhammer. The closest experience I've got to Warhammer is 2 of my friends got really into it for all of like 2 or 3 months, and then they bought full armies in that time and now never do anything with that, and then me and my other friends laugh at them for burning money like that.
Isn't that like fucking $500?
Yeah, it is so much money just put in for the privilege of owning the admittedly really detailed figurines, but then you have to go paint them and set them up, and other people that are really into it will go laugh at you and call you stupid if you don't paint it perfectly, like exactly right. So it's just, you're paying for the privilege of playing a game that's probably okay at best and getting laughed at by the mega nerds who spent more money than you have, and also getting stomped by those mega nerds who've dumped thousands of dollars into Warhammer when you actually play the game.
But I need to head out right now. So
all right, take it easy,
I'll see y'all later, and thanks for joining us, 24. That was really awesome to shit around. Yep.
Yeah, man. Write more of your stuff so I can go read more of it.
That's exactly what I intend.
Do the thing.
What a dummy head. He didn't even realize that you don't read stuff.
Oh.
Got him.
Absolutely got him.
God damn it, see you guys.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
But the way you describe Warhammer almost makes me think it's like, I don't know, Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, another one of my friends, or another 2 of my friends are really into Magic the Gathering, and it didn't help that one of them worked at a games warehouse where, like, all the stuff comes in before being distributed to Toys R Us before that fucking died. And other places that actually sell board games and Magic cards and stuff. So he would always get the chance to see things coming in first, the Magic stuff, and then also get stuff that people didn't really want, or get first privilege of putting in order things before going to the third-party store markup. So he went and spent too much money on Magic stuff because he had that opportunity. And he described, like, the warehouse they worked at all the games and everything. They had so much stuff, but there was only one camera on the actual floor, like one security camera on the actual floor of the warehouse, and it was pointed squarely at the Magic cards. That was the only thing they really cared about people trying to steal that were working there, was the Magic cards, because some of them are stupidly expensive.
Yeah, so there's some that are like $17,000.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah, Magic is just the card game equivalent of pissing your money away, like Warhammer is.
In fact, what do you know? Blue Skidoo, what do you do? The next question is, did you play Magic the Gathering at all?
I played it twice, I think. Yeah, 2 times in college, just because other people had cards like, hey, we're going to do like a Magic thing. You should come play with us. And I'm like, well, I don't have anything better to do. I'm a college freshman with nothing going on, like, I guess this was like a Saturday or something. So I went and played it a couple times, like, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing, and this is kind of dumb, so I'm going to head out.
Chaotic Revenge says, I've lost my limbs, and I'm now a slug. Will you help me, please?
If he's asking for help being put out of his misery, I can certainly help with that. As for reattaching your limbs, I don't think I haven't reached that superpower yet. So you're gonna have to maybe hold on a little bit until I can figure out how to put you back together.
See, I was assuming he was talking about lower half help.
No, I mean you might need help with that too. Again, he's gonna need to wait. He's gonna need to wait until I'm good and ready.
All right, and then. Hey, do you want to be friends is the next question.
I thought I already was friends with him on Discord, but I do enjoy shooting the shit with him in my channel, so consider yourself lucky, because I already see you as kind of a friend.
Aww. Next question is, do you actually hate bats?
Yes, go fuck yourself. There's a running joke on my Discord server and other servers I'm in that I absolutely despise bat pony OCs. So to the point where anytime somebody posts a picture of a bat pony OC, I go make comments to go burning it. So it sort of stems from, I guess, earlier in the fandom when as soon as people saw fucking like Luna Eclipse and saw the bat ponies, like, shit, you can put bat wings on a pony? I'm gonna make that my OC, and it was just fucking everywhere. And I'm like, I don't want to deal with this anymore. Half of these are fucking garbage, and they're so prevalent that I'm seeing the garbage at a rate higher than I see the garbage of the other races. So I just sort of got an aversion to seeing and dealing with bat pony OCs, and now it's a big joke in my servers.
Okay. Alex _ is up next. If you had to have an STD, which one?
If I had to have an STD, which one? Well, if I'm going to, I'll give you the serious answer first, and that's probably HIV, because honestly, at this point, with modern drugs and stuff, it doesn't bother people at all. It's kept under control, so there's really not really much to work with that, or to worry about with that as for your quality of life. If you wanted as for the meme answer, definitely syphilis, because going insane sounds fucking great right about now.
Okay.
You asked, and you've been answered.
No, I thank you for your answer, even if I do not understand.
But
The
what about
next
pubic
question.
lice? I mean, pubic lice sound quite cool.
Pubic lice?
Anytime somebody talks about fucking pubic lice, I'm reminded to my high school health class where the guy who did it was like a really awkward dude, and he had typos in his packets, and one of them was he misspelled pubic lice as public lice.
Good. The next question is, eat a fruit, why not eat a pony?
Well, I feel like you have to be much more select with the parts of the pony you want to eat if you're going to get your vitamin C. It requires much more effort in the first hand, so you know.
What part of the
sometimes
pony
it's
do you eat for vitamin C?
Well, usually you're going to go after the liver. It's really rich in vitamin C, but that requires you to go, cut the thing up and clean it first.
Fucking take that, Rarity. Got
Exactly.
your liver.
Your liver is mine now, and it is delicious.
Okay. And Alex asks next, tell me a funny anecdote.
Haven't I been doing that this whole podcast?
Yes, you have.
Tell me another one. Come on, monkey, dance. Tell me another one.
Well, now you just called me a monkey. That's racist. I'm not going to answer your question.
Shit. Okay, hang on. Come on. Hang on.
Just stop. Stop. I'm not going to encourage more racism. No. Bad Alex.
Racism.
Why did I let you stay
You
on
have
today?
failed.
Good day, sir.
Oh no.
The next question is from Chaotic Revenge again. Would you rather groove or boogie, but make sure not to do both at the same time or the world implodes?
I feel like I more often groove than I do boogieing, because boogieing implies a certain level of like physical activity, like standing up and dancing about. Grooving is much more easier to accomplish when you're just driving someplace, listening to the radio and singing along, which I have to drive back and forth between New Jersey and Pennsylvania a lot, because Pennsylvania is where my family is and New Jersey is where I am currently. And so that's a 3-hour car ride, so there's plenty of time to sing along and groove. And the only individual that ever hears me sing, because I don't really like to do it, is my bird, because he rides in the passenger seat of my car when I'm driving, and I'm singing along to all the songs.
Does your bird do the head bob thing?
No, he mostly just screams his lungs out.
Good bird.
He does not like driving, because I have to go put him in a travel cage, which is like a really small cage, and then I put that cage inside a box that I buckle into the passenger seat of my car just for his protection in case we were to get into an accident or something, and he absolutely hates being in that. So he's usually running back and forth and screaming for like the entire drive. And it takes a lot of mental fortitude to survive a 3-hour drive with a screaming bird in the passenger seat. That's why grooving to the music is very helpful. And that was a train that just went by my apartment, in case you heard that.
We did. Luckily, unlike other guests that we have, when a train drives by your house, you don't lose your entire internet connection. So.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah, the apartment building I'm at in New Jersey is right next to like 6 train tracks, so they go by all the time, and the passenger trains love to blow their horn as they go past my building. I'm honestly surprised I haven't heard another one since we've been doing this.
We'll consider ourselves lucky then.
Exactly.
Nalia is up next, who says, "For the record, I interviewed this awesome writer first." Well, we interviewed them for longer.
Yeah, and also they interviewed me through text and a Google document. So yeah, you guys got the real life the voice experience. It's kind of hard to convey Randy Savage impressions over words.
We like when you use your mouth.
Oh yeah, brother.
And now I'm just imagining Randy Savage giving someone a blowjob.
Oh god.
Oh yeah, you think you're a big man? Well, I'll show you what a big man can do.
Oh my god.
The next question. Do you like head pats?
I do not get head pats because I'm 6'5" and I tower over the plebeians around me, so nobody can reach my head.
Very smart. Number 2, do you like tacos?
You know, tacos are okay. Not exactly a huge fan of Mexican food, but there's not a whole lot of food that I won't eat or just don't really like. So, you know, I'll eat tacos.
Totally fair. And
it comes with coming from an Italian family. You know, just there's food everywhere. You just eat until you can't move anymore.
I have had Italian friends, and I will attest that this is correct.
Yeah, you appreciate cooking and food of all kinds when you live in a family that's as dedicated to cooking as an Italian family is.
I only wish I was half as skilled at cooking as an Italian mom. Not even an Italian grandma, because an Italian grandma, that's next fucking level.
Yeah, it's actually I really like a little fun story about my family. Is like my mom is from the Midwest. At least she was born in the Midwest, and she married into like my dad's family. My dad's family is the huge Italian family,
right?
And she very quickly adapted to making all the Italian food and stuff as somebody from the Midwest, to the point where my grandma, she had a whole lot of recipes, like home cooked recipes she came up with that she would give out to like her family and such before she died. I guess like 15 years ago, so whatever. But she gave out recipes to all the family for things, and one of the things that everybody loved that she made was a crumb cake. And everybody that's tried to make it says it doesn't come out the same way as the way she made it, except for my mom. When my mom makes it, they say that it comes out the same way she does, or she used to do it. And they all think it's because she gave everybody slightly different recipes, but she gave my mom, the Midwest explant or transplant, the actual recipes of the crumb cake because she liked her that much.
That or there was some Freaky Friday shit, and your mom is now your grandma.
Now that would certainly be crazy, but she doesn't pray the rosary as much as my grandma did. But that goes into religion, so we're not going to talk about that.
No, totally fair. The last question that we're going to field today is from Chaotic Revenge: steampunk or cyberpunk?
Well, probably I'd say cyberpunk over steampunk. I like the aesthetics of both. I like just how both things do things, like the brass and steam, and sort of like extreme gung-ho about various economic systems and stuff that would be encroaching on politics. That's a fun thing of steampunk, just that sort of Victorian computers, but the computers also run off of coal sort of setting. So that's really fun. But I do like the sort of grittier, I guess cynical would be a way of describing how cyberpunk differs from steampunk. Is much more optimistic. And I'm not really a cynical person, but I just think cyberpunk has a much more. I like the gritty, the cynical stories. Just because when I write stories, I like having. I basically inflict nonstop pain on my characters from start to finish. So seeing things that are more cynical or more gritty is just something that resonates with me when I'm reading or interacting with a media of that. So yeah, especially with Cyberpunk coming up later this year, everybody is fucking excited for. Definitely Cyberpunk over Steampunk.
All right. Well, 24, we wanted to thank you for your time and you've had to come join us. Chances are that people will catch this video afterward and go, oh shit, I can't believe I missed that. I wanted to ask him a question.
Yeah, I can't believe you guys fucking missed it.
Yeah, what the hell, man?
Oh, come on, it's not like I was telling you about it on my user page and shit. That's your own fault. God.
True. You fucked up.
Yeah, this is on your heads, damn it.
Well, if they wanted to ask you a question, even though they weren't able to make it to this cast, what would be the best reasonable way to get in touch with you? The fanfic or hit up that Twitter.
I don't. Well, I do have a Twitter, but I never actually use it to post anything, so that'd be basically useless. The easiest way, if you want to talk to me, would be to get on my Discord server, because I'm way more active on Discord than I am elsewhere, like on Fanfic and stuff. And people PM me a whole lot on Fanfic. Well, I'd say a whole lot, but I mean once in a while, because it's not like I get constant PMs. But usually when people PM me on Fanfic, I'll look at it, read the message, be too tired to respond to it, and then forget about it. So you'll be more likely to get a response out of me if you go message me on Discord or join my server and message me. And you can find the link to my server on my Fanfic user page, so just go there and you'll know where to go.
And as I understand, the best way to get your attention in your Discord is to post bat ponies?
Yeah, if you post pictures of bat ponies, I'll probably make some comment about burning them, followed by various Daybreaker emojis about genocide, and you know how that goes. But yes, you'll figure out how to contact me pretty quickly if you get into my Discord server, because I'm usually pretty active on it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, 24. We really appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. It's been fun, especially doing my impressions and making you die with laughter, especially, Priest.
Well, to be fair, I'm a pretty low bar when it comes to comedy.
Well, now you just made me feel bad about myself. I can't believe you did that.
Good.
God.
That's just like my stories. I'm just here to make people feel bad. Good.
Also, a couple more fucks thrown out for the drinking word, and hopefully get a few more people pass out at their computers. So fuck you, go fuck yourself, fucking drink that shit, you little fuck. Drink
fucking milk.
Fuck.
Fucking milk.
Fuck.
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 Who do we have next week? Calm Wind? That's a very fucking calm name.
Wow. I can't fucking believe it.
Yeah, right. Well, needless to say, thank you everyone for tuning in on this episode. You'll be seeing it go up on YouTube later this week. Your bartenders this evening have been Alex _ Enigmatic Otaku,
Here is your code for Raid Shadow Legends.
Milk,
When do we get sponsored again?
our amazing guest, the 24th Pegasus.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm AIDS. Bye.
Wow.
Go away.
Stop.
We don't want you
It's
here
over.
anymore.
You're still here? It's
The cream of the crop!
The cream won't rise to the top.